Welcome back to Thunderbolt Apache Leader in this Iran campaign. We're up to day number 5. I have drawn a special condition. It's increased enemy air cover. And I had a lot of SO points, so I'm paying 2. That's why I put the 2 marker there, to avoid any more helicopters here. I also set up the first target for the day. I debated forwards and backwards and forwards again what I should do, but I decided to hit 2 targets today. And the first target is this, the reconning force. The reasoning for this is the special text here. Add 1 scout counter to your squadron when you destroy this battalion. I didn't have enough SO points at the start to buy more than 1 scout. I really want 1 for each mission, really. So that's why I'm hitting this one, although it's only 1 point. I think it will be valuable for the next 3 days. The other is this tank force, 5 points. Enough said. I need a point right now. This is the reconning force, which is set up, and I have Thor and Freak flying together with 611, that's 612 flying, my little drone here. I have a weight point limit of -2, and as I said before, I'm going to use the AH-1s as anti-air platforms. We'll see how that works out. I got into a bit of a problem here because I had the 2 helicopters down here, and there was no way I'm gonna avoid both of them, so I have to have Freak on high to take out this helicopter. Otherwise this one would wreak havoc on me later on. So Freak is going to take that one out, and the drone here is going to draw the other one this way, so Freak can take that one out as well. We'll see how that goes. Thor is just having to clean up everything else. Easy peasy. Well, let's see how that goes. The first one we drew was this, the increase the loiter turns over the battlefield by 1. So we have 6 turns instead of 5 here. And that might be very good. But first things first, a pop-up counter. You do realize that's the damage tokens, right? So did I. Here are the pop-ups. And it's an infantry. How wonderful. Just what we needed. 8. Well, at least it's down there. It's nasty if you get into the same hex as that one. So I think we'll avoid that. Next up, the enemy cover roll. It's a 5. Has destroyed units in hex. Doesn't apply here. So we're up next. Let's start with Freak. He's going to fire 2 of his sidewinders against that helicopter. And he's going to hit on a 2. That's a 1. That's a miss. And that's a 6. That's a good hit. That's a good habit to have, to fight 2 missiles against the air targets, I think. And I think that Freak will... Well, he can't move down to low altitude, he has to do that first. Thor, here, he's going to fire a Maverick on that tank, and he is going to fire a Hellfire missile on that APC. So let's see. He ain't got anything there, he's got a +1 and there's a -2, so a 1 is a miss on the tank. That's a 5, it's a hit. That APC will be hit on a 3. That's a 6, that's the hit. That's good. It's a good start. Smoking Rex is always a good start, and it's going to move 1 hex in there. And a little drone moves up here. Then the enemy attacks, and this helicopter has a line of sight to that drone, so he's going to move 1 to 5 here. 9. So he's going to move down this way. It's got a range of 1, so he ain't going to hit anything from there. And none of the others can attack either. Advanced solitairegame counter. Then another round of pop-ups. Let's see. No enemy. Then we have the cover roll. It's a 3. Same hex with aircraft. Doesn't apply. So it's up to us again. Freak is going to fire his 2 remaining missiles on that helicopter. It's a 2. That's enough. So both helicopters are taken care of. I think if I were mistaken before, I think you might be able to move afterwards after you've fired. It's these little rules that makes my head spin sometimes. I'm going to check out that really quickly. Yeah, I was partially right. You have to decide the altitude before you attack or move. And Freak has to stay at high altitude to be able to take that helicopter out. So, I'm not sure what it's going to do with that. I think that he will move this way. And we'll have Thor continue on here, and he is going to fire. Is he, or is he going to move first? I think he's going to move first. He's going to move in there because he got a +2 on cannon strike, and he's going to fire both of his rocket pods. So against the truck he's got a +2, +4, +5. So that's an 11, which means we keep the weapon and destroy the truck. Against the APC we got a 2, 3+. So that's a 6. It's enough to hit the target, but we don't keep the weapon. And for his second move, I think he will go here. Then the enemy attacks. There are none. So we advance the solitairegame counter. And we're back to drawing the pop-ups, because we still have Freak there. No enemy. And this time Freak is going to low altitude. I'm sure what he's going to do at least. I think he'll just go home. I forgot to move this one last turn. It should be here. So let's move it at the start of this one. And Thor, I think he is going to move here, and he uses cannon on this APC. He's got a +2, +3, and he hits on a 4, so that's an automatic kill. Enemy attacks, there are none. And for the first time we don't have to draw the pop counters. So we go to... Did I forget the cover roll last time? It was a 3. Same hex with aircraft. Didn't apply. So 5 this time. Destroyed units in hex. Yeah. It's these guys. And we'll move the drone here, and Freak is going home. Now we'll see, what will we do with Thor? I think he has to go up to high altitude for the fur. And he is... I need to have at least those left, yeah. I think it's going to go to that edge, and it's going to fire his cannon on this APC. And as before, it's a +2, +1, so it's an automatic hit. And he is going here. So we avoid that infantry. Enemy attacks, which they can't do. We have to advance the loiter counter. Pop-ups. We're back to the pop-ups. This terrain ain't good for me. There are too many ridges here. So I have to go high. There's no enemy. We'll have you go here. And Thor, he is going to fire his Maverick on that tank. I think it's a 2 or more to hit. As a 0, as a 10, that's good enough. And then he will move 1 and 2. This one is not needed to be taken care of to have a complete success here, luckily. So advance the loiter counter, and we draw another pop-up. It's an APC. That might be bad. 8, 7, 8 in this hex. So, Thor, he will move here, he will use his gun, his cannon, and he will move away. This drone will go to low altitude, no ridge rolls because he doesn't get stress, and moves here. Thus the APC can't fire on him. We advance the loiter counter, we move here, advance the loiter counter, and we're home. Again, they don't care about stress, so bingo, fuel is no concern for them. Perfect mission. We didn't get hit once, and we took out every target in here. I'm gonna go after the tank force next. That's gonna be a bit harder, I think. See you then. Oh, I forgot, we had this one as well. Let's see. Reporting for duty. Once again, this is one of the downsides with this game. So there are only 10 cards, so you're gonna see a lot of repeats on them. I love that card. Gives 5 less stress. And now I'm gonna set up the next one. And this is how it is set up. This was kind of a brain burner. Given that they spread out the helicopters and the AAAs and the SAMs everywhere. The tanks I don't really care about, they don't hit that hard. But there's no way I'm going to deal with everything here at the same time, which I really needed. But hey, that's the game. First things first, we get an enemy support here. So we add 1 extra unit, and surprise, it's a truck, which is because I choose that one. We also have a scout, so we're gonna roll for a scout check. 10, +4 turns and -1 stress. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we only get 1 stress. Where do I have those counters? I have them over here. You see, we have another scout there now. the plan here is for Scuttle to go in here and take out everything. He really needs to do that. The drone is afterwards is going to go to low altitude and move over here. Rebel, he is going to fire. No, he can't do that either. I had him planned on dropping to low altitude after dropping his independent weapons here. But well, Rebel is going to get hit by that helicopter, I think. No matter how I do this. Because I need to take out both of these hexes here. Let's do that. We're gonna drop pop-up, at least for Rebel to start up with. This is the plan. We're sticking with it now. And what was it? No enemy. So it's a cover roll. 6, all infantry. We have no infantry here. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna go with Scuttle first. And Scuttle is going to fire almost everything he has. He's going to fire a Hellfire on that AAA, a Hellfire on the tank, and 2 Sidewinders on the helicopter. Let's start with the helicopter. What do I need to fire? No, I don't. Just need to fire 1. He's got a +2, so it's an automatic hit. Then we have the AAA, which means I am going to hit it on a 2 or higher. It's a 0, so that's a hit. Should have used that roll for that tank. And the tank is getting hit on a 4. It's a 9, it's also hit. Sorry about that. It's a bit crowded in here with my tripod. And then Scuttle is going to move into a hover here. Rebel is going to start off with firing an Hellfire there, another Hellfire there, while dropping GBUs 12s in this hex. Independent weapons are that way. You have to fire them from high altitude, but then they are laser guided all the way down by themselves. So let's start out with, well, this one here. And it's a strike, because it's the same hex with a +2, so a 1 is not a hit. That's a hit. That was a dangerous target. And then we have the tank in the same hex. That's a bit harder to hit, so it's a 4, 7. And then we are on to these guys. Let's start with the SAM site here. Well, it's an automatic hit. Let's get a +2 and a +1. So need 4. So we're going to roll for the tank. Let's say 3. That's a miss. Rebel is going to keep his altitude and move 1 and 2. I can't change the altitude. And then I'm going to need to keep using that one. The helicopter is going to have a 50-50 chance on hitting one of those guys. And then it's the enemy attacks, and it's always the helicopter that moves first. And he's got a line of sight to both of these, so he's going to move into this hex. And then he's going to fire. Let's say 1 to 5 on the drone, otherwise it's on Rebel. It's a 6, he's going to fire on Rebel, together with that tank. Rebel has evasive 1, so he's going to use that one on the helicopter. So we'll draw 1 red and 2 yellows. Let's start with the red one, because they are bad. Structure, but A10, so that's ignored. And then we have the 2 yellow. Cannon, but also A10. Structure, I can live with that. It's a 1 structure hit from 3 hits. Like that. That's good. And we advance the loiter counter. Pop-ups. Yep. No enemy. So enemy cover roll then. 9. 1 hex with the most active. Well, I'd say it's this hex or that hex. That hex doesn't make any sense, so these move into cover. This bastard, I forgot him. There's gonna be 2 more red hits here. Shit. Let's see. That are 2 pylon hits. We have dealt with those before. I think we can deal with them this time as well. Ah, that was really, really bad. Let's see. We're down to 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, we're good. We fired 4 points of weapons during that turn. Now we are up to our attacks. And Scuttle is going to move to high altitude, I think. Yeah, he has to do that. And he's going to take out that helicopter with an aim 9. As we discussed before, that's an automatic hit. And that's everything he's going to do. Rebel, he has to stick with a high altitude, because he is going to move up here to be able to take out that SAM without having to roll for those ridges. With this one, let's see, I use 1 or 2. I'm going to use 1. And at the same time, what can I do? I can not strike that one. Those independence weapons are good, but they ain't that good. Unless I drop it on that tank. Yeah, let's do that. Let's drop it on that one. So that SAM is getting hit with a Hellfire. It's a 9. It's a hit. And this one here is getting hit with a laser guided bomb. 8, that's a hit. And that's Rebel, and that's Skull, so it's this little drone. It's going to move there, and he is going to take 1 yellow. Oops, that one hopped out. Let's see. This one. No strike. We can live with that. And we advance the loiter counter. Next turn, 2 pop-ups this time. It's an APC. And a no enemy. Let's see where that APC shows up. 2 up here. We'll move to low altitude with Scuttle. And Rebel is going to move here. And he is going to fire. Is he going to fire? Yeah. he has to fire on both of those. How much do I need to have left? 5 points. What do I have if I strike those? That's 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need a lot more. Maybe we can do this. I'm gonna do the independent weapon there. So let's start with the tank there. Up here with the Hellfire. I have a +2 and -2, and a 1 is a total miss. That APC there, that's a 2, 3, 4. Oh, just barely a hit. Independent weapon. 8, that's a hit. And second move here. Or is he? Yes, he is. This drone is just gonna move here. And the enemy attack is this one, but he has got a evasive 1, so he's gonna reduce that to 0. We advance the loiter counter. Pop-ups. No enemy. Cover roll. 7. 1 random hex. 9. There are no units there, so it doesn't apply. Let's see here. If I leave that one, oh, there's one too. Ugh. There's 2, 4, 6, 7, 11. That's plenty to have to deal with. And I'm out of independent weapons as well. I think I will use one. No, I will use my cannon on that tank with a ±0. It's a 2, it's a miss. So I'm going to move here. This one is going here. Scuttlers just hanging around in case we draw a pop-up with a helicopter. So same here, no attack, advance the loiter counter, new pop-ups. No enemy. Cover roll. 6. All infantry, no infantry here. So Rebel, he is going to low altitude. He doesn't need to be up high anymore. And he's going to fire 2 Hellfires here. So the first one, 8, that's a hit. And the second, that's a 2, that's a miss. And it's going to move up here. And that's too bad because the drone is moving this way. So he is going to get hit. Structure. That means no more UAV. He crashed. Bad Rebel, bad. And we advance the loiter counter. No pop-ups this time. Enemy cover roll. 0. Any one hex emerges. We have this one. And then the enemy attacks, no attacks, and then slow pilots attack. We are going to move. I wonder if I counted that right last time. I did use standoff attacks with a +3, 5. No, I was missing anyhow. So Rebel, he is going to move here, and he's going to fire his cannon. 7, that is a hit. And now we're down to 2, 4, 6, 7 points here. This could be working out. Loiter counter, no pop-ups, and cover roll is a 9. 1 hex with most active. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one goes into hiding. So Rebel, he's going high altitude. I need to go below 5, I think is the best choice here. Start off with 1, 2. And he's gonna fire his Hellfire on that one. Oh. 3 with a +2 and a +1. That's a 6 with -2 is 4. That's a hit. We're down to 5 this time. Scuttle is just hanging on, and we advance the loiter counter. This time we will draw a pop-up. Ah, there comes the helicopter. Number 2, up here. And he has line of sight to Rebel, and we are slow. Oh well. Let's see, a cover roll. 2. Same hex with aircraft, doesn't apply. So we don't attack, but the helicopter. 1 to 5, this hex. Yep, it's moving this way. And he will fire on Rebel with 3 attack. 2 red and 1 yellow since he has evasive. That's bad, that's real bad. Yep, that's a display hit. Let's see, which means we have -2 to standoff attacks. We have bullet holes, which will require repairs to not having to fly with stress. And we have the altitude. I think I'm forced to change altitude. So I'm going to have to move to low, which is really bad because that means we have to roll for the ridge. Let's see if I can find it in rules. Yeah. Yep. He's going to low altitude. And he can't change that. But afterwards, then it's us. And Scuttle is moving to high altitude, and he is going to fire one of those AIM-9s. And take out yet another helicopter. And we're running out of time, so he is going to move this way. Rebel, he will go over that ridge. I don't need to take out anything else, right? No. 5 points, which is, yep, 5. But over the ridge we go. We have a +1 because he has evasive traits. So it's a 9. 1 stress. He has fuel tanks as well. Let's see. I have, after this turn we're down to 1, 3, And then we have a 2, and then we have a 1, and then... Ah, that's a lot of ifs and whens and buts and hits. And Rebel is just gonna move out. We advance the loiter counter, and no pop... Yeah, we have a pop-up. No enemy. These should go back into the tray as well. Fast enemy, slow. Scuttle moves home. Well, it didn't really go as planned, but we did knock it out. That's a good thing. And I forgot once again that I gain 1 SO point for each destroyed battalion. I did destroy the one last time. And I did destroy this one as well, so I'm gonna need it to repair. Let's see. B-52 strike. You may pay 3 SO points to destroy any one battalion. Gain victory points but not XPs for destroying it. Do I want that? Currently I'm at, let's see, I'm at 10 points. Which means dismal. How many points is there left? Let's see that. And is anything, let's see, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 23, 27, 31 points to go. Well, there's plenty of points, but do I need to get anything off here? I gain the victory points, but not the XP for destroying. I'm going to destroy the tank spearhead. It's worth 6 victory points. Those B-52 really rock. So that's just a big bonus here. And I'll set up for end of day. We have the no fly stress recovery, and that's Gator. Just removing 1 stress token total. So, I realized that I've been promoting pilots quite a lot actually. Thor here has gone from skilled to veteran during the campaign. Freak has actually gone from green to skilled. That's 2 steps up, and it is a really good pilot now. Scuttle has gone from skilled to veteran actually during this day. And Rebel has gone from skilled to veteran. Those who hasn't been flying as much as Gator and Halo, and they're still at their starting values. I really should need Halo to get a bit more experience, but I don't want him flying really, since he can't take any stress. I'm gonna gain 4 special option points for the day. I'm gonna gain an additional because the B-52 bombers, I destroyed a battalion. Yeah, I'm gonna need it. You see all the damage over here. And we're gonna move enemy battalions. And again, -2 from assault battalion moves, -1 from support battalion moves. So let's do that. Let's start with 1A here. That is a 6, which means advance. The 7A is a 3. They hold. It's actually a 1, but that means hold. The 8A is a 2. They're gonna retire, but they can't. They're gonna stay there in the rear. The 5A, 3, also gonna stay back there. Then we have the support battalions. The 2S here with a -1. That's an 8, so he is going to advance. That one ain't moving. This one has a -4 because it's halved. so he's gonna stay back there. Next up is replacements, which we don't need, and we have the repair aircraft. I'm gonna repair all that damage. Get down to 2 special option points. Just because I can today. Feels really good to have all that cash floating around. Just gonna put everything where it's supposed to be in my little trays over here. And you're as good as new. Then we have the priority R&R. I'm not going to spend my last 2 points because I'm going to need to have some weapons as well. But I am, before this step, going to bring this little fellow back into the board after being shot down. 2 victory points, but I'm thinking that's very much worth it to be able to have fast pilots, since my whole tactic here has been based upon me choosing slow pilots, making them fast with the drones. So they are vital here. And we advance the day counter to day 6. Tomorrow I think we are probably going to hit the infantry force. That's really a whole lot of things. Maybe it's just 1 attack tomorrow then to bring out this infantry force. Otherwise we have this convoy, which we will gain 2 option points when you destroy. Might be something to hold out for. Then we have the dismounted infantry. Yeah, they could be taken care of as well. And a bit further back we have the scout force, supply depot, bombardment, headquarters and mounted infantry. Well, nope. Gonna hit something up here at least. Probably the infantry force. I'm thinking maybe I should go after that one with both of my Thunderbolts. Yeah, that'd be cool. And then going after probably the convoy here with 4 APCs and 8 trucks with 2 helicopters. Yeah, that might work. I'll see what I think about. And I am not going to forget this, because Thor, he is at 5 stress. So he's gonna go down to 0 so we can use him. We need him in a Thunderbolt, so we don't have to bring Halo to the fight. Well, that's everything for this week. See you next time. Bye bye.